Hey everybody, and welcome to Binder Minder. And well, we're in Lorwyn Eclipse season, and we got to get things started with this, right? So I'll tell you, we've ordered more of this than we've ordered any set ever. My wife and I both picked up a collector booster box each from our LGS, and that way we were able to get those today, which is pre-release weekend. But we do both have another collector booster box on order each through another vendor, and then I've also got a collector booster box and two play booster boxes on order as well. She also has both decks, commander decks, and she has the 60 card decks, the theme decks, which are the theme decks, and then she has a draft box as well. And then I actually have two of the commander decks as well on top of hers because I got a really good deal on them, and probably gonna pull them apart, and there's a bunch of parts in them that I want to use in another deck. So yeah, so we're gonna have a ton of Lorwyn Eclipse coming up, and then they just announced the Fallout Secret Lair, which I'm kind of interested in as well. So we got a lot upcoming, but for now, with this being our first look at Lorwyn Eclipse, I'm just going to kind of run through and show you guys what all you can pull in a box, specifically in a collector booster box, because play booster boxes, it's pretty simple. You know, it's a standard cards. You can rarely pull one of the borderless extended art versions and stuff like that, and you can get a special guest, but there's no foil version. So with the collector boosters, there's a few other things you can get, including, as it says here, may include a serialized card. So there's one serialized card, and it's out of 500. It's Bitterbloom Bearer, and it's got art by Rebecca Guy, and her art is extremely popular, and that art looks amazing. So that should be a very popular card, very expensive card. So that can only be pulled in a collector booster pack, which you can get in a collector booster box or in the draft night box. The Bitterbloom Bearer, which is the base version of that card, you can get that card in regular borderless and a whole bunch of other versions, which we're going to go through. So you guys, if you've been around for a while, you know I love special guests. I have my special guest collection. This set, so typically a special guests, there's 10 of them per set. This set has 20 of them, and it kind of falls into with the lore of the set. So it's Lorwyn Eclipsed, and so you have Lorwyn and Shadowmoor, and they kind of they sync together. Lorwyn is like the light side of things, and Shadowmoor is the dark. So they're kind of sticking with that, and we have 10 of each version, and the special guests and the artwork on those is amazing. So we'll be looking for those. Obviously, you can pull those in anything. You play boosters or collector boosters, but the collector boosters have foil versions of them, which are usually worth quite a bit more. So there will be borderless cards. With the borderless cards, I think they kind of focused on having art from iconic Magic artists from the past. There are Shocklands in this set, which is awesome, and unlike Edge of Eternities, which I was excited for Edge of Eternities to have Shocklands, but the art on those was kind of questionable. There was just too much black. With these, they fall into that. They're encouraging that whole Lorwyn and Shadowmoor thing again. These are going to be dual-sided. They have beautiful art. And you got a light side of the card and a dark side of the card, which is really cool. Because those are borderless, we're more likely to find those in collector boosters, but you can find them in play boosters as well. There are 3 set codes. So there's the ELC, which is the standard Lorwyn Eclipsed code. There's ECC, which is the commander set, and then there's the special guest, which is SPG. Because this is not a Universes Beyond, we don't have that weird. I mean, we have special guests, but we don't have like the full bonus sheet with all the other stuff. And so with the Eternals and all that kind of stuff, none of that stuff that gets confusing. So you either have commander cards, special guest cards, which are not legal in standard, and then you have ELC, which is legal and standard. They do have Japan showcase cards. There are 10 of those. They're all in foil, but it's rather you either get foil, fractured foil version of those cards, and this time around they did get rid of the Japanese text in the English boosters. So Japanese boosters have Japanese text only, and English boosters have English text only, which I think a lot of people are going to like. It's kind of a bummer when you pull a really cool card and you're like, I can't read this, I can't use it. The only downside, at least for me, is we did get some really good deals. We were able to get those really good art that I liked for cheap because of the Japanese text. That's not going to happen in the future. But if we pull one, it's going to be worth a little bit more at least. Beyond that, they do have Fable frame cards, which is what I would consider to be the showcase. That's what they used to call it. Fable frame cards look great, and some of those do have that dual. They're not dual-sided, but they do. Some of the dual-colored ones kind of have this cool split effect with the art as well, which we'll get to see. I am planning on trying to collect all of the Fable frame cards, just like I did with the showcases from Bloomburrow. For the lands, they do have full art lands, and they have both Shadowmoor and Lorwyn full art lands. So there's quite a bit to look forward to in here. As far as specific cards that I'm looking for, I mean they're right. I mean, like I said, today is literally pre-release day. There's a lot of stuff that's expensive. Pricing hasn't settled down yet. But there are a couple cards that we can expect to see being pretty valuable. The biggest one of those, at least at launch, everybody's really excited about the Hexing Squelcher. That card is one that pretty much a lot of everybody in CEDH is pretty excited about that. I think that one's going to drop down in price once that excitement falls off. Personally, I wouldn't mind finding a Bitterbloom Bearer. I would really like to find a bunch of the Shapeshifters and some of the borderless ones, because they do have dual-sided borderless ones, like the Iridu, Carrier Dawn, stuff like that. I'd be pretty excited for. So really, I'm pretty open-minded on this. We don't really know what's going to be super valuable. We've got a fairy deck in the works, so fairy cards will be fun. I've got 2 different shapeshifter decks. Those will be fun, and the elementals. Elementals are looking pretty exciting too. So there's a bunch of stuff that I can do. I just want to get a bunch of the stuff, get a nice variety. I'm not too worried about what I pull. So anyhow, let's dive into this before I waste your time anymore and see what we get. It's been a while since I've even opened any collector boosters. They've just been too expensive, and these weren't cheap, to be fair. They're better priced than some of the Universes Beyond, but we've just been kind of holding off on a lot of these sets and waiting for some boosters, some sets that we are excited about. And this is one of them. This is for my wife. This is the main set she's excited about. I've got a few more this year that I'm kind of excited about. I'm kind of excited about Ninja Turtles, but I'm kind of hesitant. I mean, I talked about this in one of our other videos already, but Star Trek, there's a bunch of stuff coming up this year that should be exciting. So anyhow, let's dive into this. We got 12 packs to take a look at and see how hard it is going to be to open these collector boosters. Last time I opened a collector booster, it was tough. So we do have pull tabs, which never work for me. Let's see what we get. We haven't pulled a serialized card, so we could, maybe we have some good luck there. I would love to pull a really good special guest card. That's probably the biggest thing I'd like to see, but we'll see. All right, so I'm going to sort these things out as we go. I'm not going to read off all the cards. Now, as far as uncommons and commons go, at least right now, I don't know if anything is looking to be a big standout. I don't see any uncommons that are up in price, but we'll have to wait and see how those land. I don't think there's anything though. The lands look great. Pretty unique. I told people, a few friends, I felt like this set, it feels a little like Bloomburrow. It's not Bloomburrow. I mean, it's very much Lorwyn, which is older than Bloomburrow as far as Magic goes, but it just the set in a way feels like Bloomburrow because it's kind of, not only is it back to like a traditional Magic, and I'm doing quotes because this Lorwyn was definitely not old school Magic, but it feels a little bit more whimsical, I guess. So we got Taster of Wares for first rare, Eventide Shadow, Doran Besieged by Time. This is great. So not only did I want this for me trying to complete this set, I've actually got a big butt deck that I plan on putting one of these into here. So I'm hoping maybe I get a second one of these. Even the regular version would be fine. Champion of the Path, Champion of Clashan, a Kithkin Knight. I've been toying around with building a Kithkin deck, and there's actually the commander that I'm looking at doing. I'm hoping I pull, which would be the Brigit. I'm hoping to get the borderless version of Bridget. It's a dual-sided card. And then we got a signed art card here. All right, maybe we'll have better luck with the full tab this time. I don't know how people like they look. I've seen people pull them all the way down, but they don't do that for me. All right. Nice changelings. Something pretty fancy looking back there. Try not to look at it, but the deceit. So the borderless version of this deceit looks really cool. I wouldn't mind pulling that. It's a nice mythic, impulsivity, Abigail, Sunder Flock, Tristan's Command, and that's what I was seeing, was the edge of that. Not nearly as exciting, but nice elf token, treasure token. As soon as I start recording the video, the cat decides to play with a toy right behind me. I'm sure you guys can hear that. I am sorry. Eclipsed Kithkin. That looks pretty cool too. It's got a, I mean, I love the art. The art is amazing. Champions of the Perfect. Puka's Covenant. Grub's Command. This is pretty neat. There we go. Overgrown Tomb. See what's behind it. Make sure there's nothing. That's so hold on. It's stuck to the back of this one. There we go. Lockmare, Horse Serpent. So the Overgrown Tomb. So you got your Lorwyn side, and then we got the Shadowmoor side. Both of them have great art. I was looking today. I saw the standard version of Overgrown Tomb. Overgrown Tomb was selling for $6 for the regular card. That's about half of any other Overgrown Tomb price. And this borderless one was selling for $12, and any other borderless one was almost $20. It's kind of crazy. But I hadn't opened my stuff, and so I didn't want to go just snatching them up for rent, no reason. Rimfire Torque, Grave Venerations. That's pretty cool looking art. Selfless Safe Right, Shadow Urchin. That's pretty cool looking too. And for our foil, we have a Mythic Curious Colossus Giant. Pretty neat. So we got a zombie token, snake token. There's a whole bunch of stuff. All right. I'm going to keep trying to get these pull tabs right. There's a fairy token. Twin Flame Travelers. Spell Snares back. Alright, Gloom Ripper. Abundant Countryside. This is a really good land. It's a commander only land, but it is a good land. You can tap it, add a colorless, or tap down 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast a creature spell, and then you can pay 6 and tap it and create a 1/1 colorless shapeshifter token with Changeling. Raiding Schemes, Champions of the Perfect, and then Twilight Diviner. We are getting quite a few of these showcase cards, which, given that I'm wanting to collect the whole set, I'm not complaining. Goat Nap. Seen that would be pretty effective. Deepway Navigator. Rain Slick Copes. It does have forest and island types, by the way. Celestial Reunion. Pretty cool looking art on that. Tristan Callous Cultivator. This is two-sided, but we'll look at the card behind it first, which is stuck to it. We've got a art card there. All right, what's our foil? Oh, that's a great foil. Hexing Squelcher. We talked about this. This right now is one of the most sought after cards. I don't know if it's going to stay that way because it is pretty much CEDH focused, but that is the best version of it. That is a good pull. All right, so this one does have a backside. So you have your light side and your dark side. All right. Gangly Stompling. That looks really cool. Bloodline Bidding. Ashling the Limitless. Lorwyn, Imperfect Naturalist. We got Emptiness. So this is, they reprinted the cycle from Modern Horizons, the Elementals, and with this frame breaking borderless treatment there. Look at that. Special guest, Manamorphous. Looks pretty cool. I don't know if it's going to be a big hit. I don't think it is, but it's pretty cool. I could be wrong. This right here, I'm loving the art on this too. Can't complain though. Like I said, getting the special guest. Every special guest I pull, that is one less special guest I have to buy later on to finish the set. So, and I'm typically buying the foil ones. They're always expensive. So, Get a couple good foil ones in here wouldn't be too bad. Alright, Grubbed, Storied Matriarch. That's two-sided, by the way. These two-sided cards are really sticking to the ones behind them. Huh, can't hide that one. Alright. So the back of Grub is that Goblin Warrior there. Dread Tiller. Mutable Explorer, which is this is a card I was pretty excited about. This is one of the this got leaked, or not leaked, but previewed really early, and I've been pretty excited about it. Not only because I think this would be great in my Shapeshifter decks and other decks, really, with it creating those Mutavault tokens, which are like a land as well. Land that can create, yeah. But it is also a showcase, so that'll help with that. Sanar Innovative First Year, and then this is a Mythic. Oh, we got Winnowing. You got the Japanese showcase here. Winnowing, English because there's no Japanese. So typically, you should see around one of those a box. Around. Same thing with the special guests. Alright, Vial. So, what are you guys thinking about the set so far? I really like the art on that too. Kinskar Century. Nice Kithkin. Jubilation. There's another one. Hexing Squelcher. Really can't complain when we pulled two of them. Spry and Mighty. And then Flitterwing Nuisance. Like I said, tons of these showcases. That should make it easy to complete the set. Kind of wonder if it isn't an indication. It's a cool Shapeshifter card. An indication that those will be a little bit easier or cheaper to be able to get. Because, so with Bloomburrow, these things were really, really hard to come by. And it ended up making the showcase cards have quite a bit of a premium in price over the regular versions of the cards. Especially the foil ones. Once the supply of all the collector boosters started to dry up. So, I mean, I don't mind it being cheaper. Like I said, I want to complete the set. I'm not really doing it to have an expensive collection. I'm just doing it because I like the art. I like the cards. That's a uncommon. But it does feel like I'm doing a pretty good job of getting a lot of them. So we already pulled this Sanar Innovative First Year. We got one of those already. Here's one of the Soden Venture or Verter. This land enters tapped unless you control two or more basic lands. This is just them working to complete the cycle of these. I like that they have the forest and island types on there though. Goliath Daydreamer. Also cool looking art. There's Winnowing's extended art version. And then we have Champion of the Path for the foil. I haven't really looked, but I wonder, since they've switched to the art cards into these boxes and out of the Play Booster boxes, I wonder how much the art cards are selling for now. Are they a lot more expensive? I know the Final Fantasy ones were kind of, had some interesting prices for a while, but that's Final Fantasy, which is a little unique. Alright. Evolving Wilds. It's kind of weird to see Evolving Wilds just straight up in the set. Not complaining. I do use this in a lot of decks because it's, well, it's cheap and it works for some color fixing. It's not a great one, but if you're running a lot of basics, it can be pretty good. Emptiness. There's the regular version. Fair 4, Young You. Twilight Diviner, also cool looking art. Alright, we got a dual-sided Sig Wonderwine Wisdom, but behind that we know where it's going to stick. If we've got a foil, High Perfect Morkant. Extended art. There's the Kithkin token, and treasure. And then this one, here's the back side of that. It's pretty cool looking. Nice looking merfolk. Alright, we have our last pack. We did already get our special guest, and we got our Japanese showcase. We still can get a serialized. We could still get a fractured, or we can get nothing. We did get an elemental token at least, so we got that going. So let's see what we get. Last pack magic. Tweeze. Champion of the Weird. Subterfuge, extended art. Collective Inferno, extended art. Spine Rock, Tyrant, Dragon. And then we got a foil Blood Crypt. That's pretty cool. Alright, we got an elemental and that other elemental together. That's neat. So the Blood Crypt here, not a bad way to end off this pack. There's the good side. And then there's the dark side. See all the fire and stuff. It's pretty cool. Alright. I'm going to get everything scanned in, sleeved up and stuff like that. And I mean, we're in pre-release pricing, so, you know, we'll see where we're at. I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm back. You'll notice the lighting has changed. I might sound a little different. I just waited. I scanned everything in last night, and I found that almost everything that we had, there was just a few cards basically that even registered a price, and that's finally updated. We still have pre-release pricing. This is very, very pre-release pricing. So like this, none of this the pricing is gonna be the same in a week, 2 weeks, especially, you know, up to a month, right? But we get at least a quick look and see how we did with pre-release pricing. So, a few notes. I did not, because of all that, I don't have a total for our over $1, but I do have a total for the whole box. And even then, I'm still missing. There's one card that doesn't show up, but I have the price for that too. So, anyhow, so let's go ahead and dive into all this. So it's a collector booster box. We don't have as many of like the crazy stacks of commons and stuff. In fact, the commons and uncommon stacks they're pretty close in size. The uncommons are definitely smaller, including the stuff that's sleeved. Those are all those showcase cards. But yeah, I mean, it's not too much. It's, to be honest with you, as far as scanning everything in, it's a lot more manageable. We had 12 packs, which means we had 12 lands. We did, I noticed. So we have 2 plains, 1 of each type. We have 3 islands, but we have 1 of each type. Swamps, 2 of those, 1 of each type. Mountain, 1 of each type. And then the forest, we have 3, but we have 1 of each type. So I can't complain there. We did manage to get at least a full variety of the lands. I'm amazed, because typically when they have more than one type like that, I'm always missing at least some, especially with one box. The other thing to notice, so we did get the Evolving Wilds. There's a couple other lands, but they're in like right here. They're in the rares and stuff like that. But I did notice after a day, these do have a little bit of a tin can to them, as they still are trying to adjust to our humidity here at least. So it'll be interesting to see how these end up. I will say, typically when these have that tin canning, after just a little while in our house, all that kind of goes away. So it's just kind of fighting against the foil as it adjusts, but we'll see. Even the art cards have a little bit of it. Anyhow, so we did get 4 art cards, and then we get a stack of tokens. I was happy with the tokens artwork and stuff, but I was surprised. And I'm double checking here because I didn't see I've been struggling as far as, because I've been building so many decks. I'm missing stuff like copy tokens, and I know there's copy tokens in this set, but I did not get any, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if it's just bad luck, but they're not worth anything or anything. It's not about that. It's a card that gets used in like so many decks that I wish we got more copy tokens. Like, look how many treasure tokens I got. So, and I have tons of treasure tokens. Beyond that, this is the stack of cards with pre-release pricing that are rares that do not have a value over $1. That includes 2 of these showcase cards, and then some foil extended arts and stuff like that. That's not very many cards given how big the stack of rares and mythics was originally. This is the stack of stuff that's between $1 and $2, and again, almost everything here is probably going to be down below $1 just this week, But as it sits, this is what we have. It's $1 to $2. I like to sleeve these things up just in case, because sometimes these $1 to $2 cards, these are the ones that you see. Sometimes they drop down, but other times those are the ones that pop up later on. So, and with that, we did get 2 of these dual-sided cards. I am planning on trying to get the whole set of these as well, in addition to the showcase. So those are sleeved up in our other sleeves as well, just so I can find them later. And then this stack right here, this is a big stack. Like I said, pre-release pricing, but we do have a big stack of cards that are over $2. So we're going to kind of go through that. I just got to pull up the prices here. All right. Starting here at the top, I hope you guys can see there's a little bit of a reflection, but Soden Verder, I can't say it very well. This is the working on that land cycle extended art. This right now at least is $210. Taster of Wares is $226 in the foil. Subterfuge, man, I can't talk this morning, is $2.38. Champions of the Perfect in foil is $241. Doran Besieged by Time, this is $251. I'm kind of glad to see this is cheap because I actually want some more of these. But I do like this. I like the card in general. It's big butt stuff is always fun, and then this one specifically is going to pump up big butt stuff, so it's going to be pretty interesting to play against. Abigail Eloquent First Year, this is $2.65 in its extended art. Dread Tiller is $3.43 in the extended art. Flitterwing Nuisance in the showcase foil is $3.48. Champion of the Path in extended art foil is, well, I don't have it marked down as a foil, to be honest. So the non-foil is $3.49, but I bet you that's even more. So put that off to the side. I'll have to take a look at that. Kinskar, I can't say it. Kinskar Century and foil is $3.72. Jubilation and the extended art is $3.76. Fair 4 Young New in extended art is $3.77. Champion of the Weird and foil and the regular card is $3.96. Sunderflock in the showcase is $4.21. Emptiness in the regular version and foil is $4.25. Mutable Explorer in the showcase, this is $5.59. And Deepway Navigator in the regular card, but foil is $5.77. Champions of the Perfect extended art is $6.11. Rimfire Torque in foil is $6.40. Twilight Diviner in the showcase foil is $6.66. the dual-sided, or no, I'm sorry, it's not dual-sided. This Ashling, the Limitless, and a borderless, which there's not that many borderless cards that aren't dual-sided, which is interesting. But this one is $6.68. Spine Rock Tyrant in the showcase is $6.81 as well. Or sorry, did I say $6.81 on both? This is $6.68 if I did. This Tristan's Command in foil in the showcase is $7.77. Sanar Innovative First Year is $7.54 with the extended art. Collective Inferno here in the extended art is $7.95. Bloodline Bidding in the regular but foil is $8.22. Grub Storied Matriarch, which is a dual-sided card in foil, is $8.71. Deceit, another one of those elementals, in foil is $9.95. Selfless Safe Right in the extended art is $10.36. Then we have a borderless elemental, and this is Emptiness with the frame break. That is non-foil, and that is $11.06. Celestial Reunion is $11.34. Overgrown Tomb in the borderless dual-sided. This is just $12.44, and I'll tell you, these are going to go up in price. Not only is the art amazing on all these, but regular borderless Shocklands are like $22, and they're not dual-sided like this. And to be honest with you, I think some of them don't have as good of art. So this is a steal. If you're trying to pick up any Shocklands for some decks, this would probably be a good time to pick them up, especially if you get the non-borderless ones, which are like $6-7. Abundant Countryside in the extended art is $14.99. Winnowing is $16.99 in the extended art, and then Curious Colossus in this showcase with a foil is $17.72. We get into the last bunch of cards we have here. Lockmare showcase foil is currently $20.53. The one special guest that I got is Manamorphous, and that is in foil as well. It's $34.81. I got really lucky. I did pull 2 Hexene Squelchers, and both of them are in the showcase. This is the non-foil for $37.53. Foil High Perfect Morkant extended art is $38.32, which just surprised me. I knew that this was going to be up there, but I did not know that this one was up there. So this is the one card that didn't actually show up as far as my total value. This mana box wasn't showing the price for this, but I looked it up, and it is currently $40.40 in the Japanese showcase. This dual-sided foil Blood Crypt is $40.76. I've actually seen that go down since last night. And then the last one, the most expensive card in at least for what I pulled, is the foil Hexene Squelcher, and this is $87.44, and they were selling for that too. I do think they're going to drop in price. If I was smart, I would probably go just get rid of it now, because I do think that once all the CEDH players pick them up, they'll kind of level off a little bit. But that is a card that is in demand. With all that said, the total price of this box with pre-release pricing is $595, which is great, especially since I got it at MSRP pricing-ish. I will say my local game store decided to add just a few bucks to it as a surprise, and then on top of that I found out that they charge when we use a credit card, so we ended up paying a little bit more for it. But overall, at that pricing, obviously that's a great deal, but pre-release pricing, we're going to see a lot of that drop down, and I actually think that with all that in mind, even with some of these big hits, unless some cards go up in price, which some of them will, some of those Shocklands will, but I didn't get that many. I have a feeling that the total price of this, what we've got here, is probably going to be around or a little lower than what the total I paid for the deck, for the box. So, which is fine. Like I said, I'm not planning on selling the stuff off anyhow, so the values really don't matter to me at the end of the day. I mean, for more than anything, I'm happy I got a couple cool cards, and I got a bunch of the showcase cards I wanted to collect. I got some playable cards, some Shocklands. I wish I would have got more. And I did get some of the flip cards. I didn't see it there. But so overall, I am happy. I'm excited to open some more up. I can't wait to check out some play boosters and stuff as well. Kind of fill in some of the gaps. And I'm also kind of curious as to when I get the binder out, just where we land. I don't know how many cards I'm still going to need when it comes to these showcase cards. So that should be interesting as well. That said, I don't want to waste your time too much. Like I said, I'm going to have another video soon after this with my wife opening up her box. So we'll save some time for then. So this is Binder. As always, thanks for watching. To put us in your binder, like I'm going to put all these showcase cards in my binder, you just got to like and subscribe and ring the bell to be notified. And you can catch us on our social media, which is down in the bottom description there. I hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you real soon with more Lorwyn Eclipsed.